everybody has their own treasure, and we will find that someday. But we want to find that with our fans, and we also hope to they will find their own treasure with us.
지금 뭐예요?
파피용이라고요.
틀린 것 같은데.
베르나르 베르베르.
아, 베르나르.
Tous les gens ont renoncé à comprendre le futur parce qu'ils ont peur d'avoir l'air ridicule. La réalité, c'est ce qui continue d'exister lorsqu'on cesse d'y croire.
Will you join us?
Open your eyes.
See the changes.
Hello everyone, this is Fix on 8 and you have entered my curious mind once again. Ever since the answer music video has dropped, I have been in chaos thinking of what the real answer is. Since I have started this series of analyzing and understanding Ateez storyline, might as well I share my own interpretation. Before you fully watch this whole video, I advise you to watch my first 3-part video of which I did for the previous comeback in order for you to understand where I'm coming from. Will you join me find the answer? Then let's begin. For all my theory, I need you to memorize one word, as it will be the keyword that we will be using across the storyline, and that is freedom. Remember that Ateez stands for teenagers because they contain the qualities of a teenager from A to the Z, not because it's their target audience, but because this phase of life represents the decisions and the tug-of-war between childhood and maturity. This is also the part where we start to formulate a perfect picture of our dreams and the start of our struggles of finding our identity and purpose. Now the 8 members have invited us to join their journey, not for the purpose of us discovering their treasure, but they are making a path that you can follow in finding your own treasure. This is why in the long journey intro, you were asked a specific question. Number 1, what is your treasure? It means that a treasure you were about to find is a kind of treasure that only you can define and design. However, it is difficult for you to see your treasure because a part of you is blinded and blocked from what a real treasure is. Number 2, will you join us? It means that Ateez also would like to discover their treasure, but they wanted to make it together with a lot of people to witness an expedition. They wanted you to feel that in the struggle of discovering your own treasure you are never alone. Which give reference to Pirate King. We can make everything together. The philosophy I have been using was anarchy. Simply because there is so much freedom of expressing yourself in this principle. Anarchy has many forms, be it music, literature, politics, and many more. This belief of having no masters doesn't mean that it's a form of rebellion, but it seeks social change of having equal rights and doesn't follow the norm of a hierarchy. Which lead to say my name reference. We don't want no trouble, just moving forward, and dreaming to be on top so the bottom can be changed. You may also connect anarchy to literature, where they included utopia, wonderland, and new world in their concept. Even the Suicide Squad reference in Hala Hala is anarchy. Now let us proceed on answer music video, and let me share with you some details that I find interesting. One of the highlights of the music video is where real Ateez sits in a dinner table with their dark version. But unlike before the dark version, Ateez has a stronger presence in this video. Their mouths are not covered, which is a symbol of freedom to speak. This represents a strong desire inside us that may or may not be controlled. Sometimes we try to shut a dark part of us because we are scared of other people's judgment. But there's a turning point in life when you have to let those desires break free to be a better person. This is why in the outro of Long Journey a line there says, "Can you hear those voices?" Because finally you have allowed that part of you to speak up and listen to your own voices. What does the Ateez duality represents? In Wave era you can find a Yin Yang symbol on Hong Jung shirt and on the answer poster release of Ateez asking, do you see the changes? If you will combine those clue and its relation to Ateez concept that would be summarized as the Yin Yang in the book of changes called the I Ching. From these basic opposites, a complete system of opposites was elaborated. Yin represents everything about the world that is dark, hidden, passive, receptive, yielding, cool, soft, and feminine. Yang represents everything about the world that is illuminated, evident, active, aggressive, controlling, hot, hard, and masculine. Everything in the world can be identified with either yin or yang. In ancient Chinese philosophy, yin and yang is a concept of dualism, describing how seemingly opposite or contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and interdependent in the natural world, and how they may give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another. You may also interpret that in the intro of their comeback stage where two opposites side face-to-face asking if you are good or bad. One important object is being projected, which is the hexagonal mirror reflecting each other. Hexagon is one of the sacred shape attracting two opposite side like magnetism. It means that two opposing forces are the positive and negative in nature combined to form a new creation. It's the same as the yin-yang where you are finding the balance of energy within you that may lead to awakening of your inner self and having self-control. Now this is where it gets exciting because yin-yang has what we call the 8 trigrams that represents the different direction in the compass. This being said, I will discuss each member's position and function in the yin-yang energy. I have used the Wonderland comeback stage as a reference to the positioning of Ateez in the compass. Mingi is in the south side, which represents heaven and the season of summer. Yunho in the north side, which represents the earth and the season of winter. Seonghwa is in the east side, representing the fire and the season of spring. Across him is Jongho in the west side that represents the water and autumn season. Now the secondary direction is for the other 4 members. Hong Jung is in the southeast representing the sun and wind. Yosang in the southeast representing the valley and lake. San is in the northeast representing as the thunder. And Wu Yang is in the northwest representing the mountain. Each member represents the element of nature's duality, creating a harmony of energy called the Tao. As it moves into action is where the transformation begins. Now I will break down each member's element in detail so you would understand what it means. Mingi is in the south side representing heaven as a wide space where you can be anything and your mind's free to create ideals and explore your creativity. Where you can imagine and made something exist from nothing. This may be connected to my way and desire sidetracks. Heaven or sky is also a representation of our dreams that has no limit. However, no actual result can be achieved unless you take action and face reality. Yunho is the counterpart of Mingi from the north side representing the earth. While Mingi create a spirituality of limitless dream and creativity, Yunho is the tenacity to implement, develop and complete. Heaven goes beyond the imagination of reality, while the earth follows a stable system. The earth lies underneath everything so that many lives can grow on it. The earth itself is the force that maintains everything. This is why you can see Yunho monitoring the members in Wonderland. Seonghwa is positioned in the east side representing the fire. It is a strong element that may represent their blazing desire. Fire represents many things to many people and cultures. It is recognized as a purifier, a destroyer and as the generative power of life, energy and change. It represents illumination and enlightenment, destruction and renewal, spirituality and damnation. Jongho in the west side represents the water. In the metaphor of Tao Te Ching, water is called the path of life because of its ability to overcome any obstacle. It continues to flow and finds its way to penetrate between gaps, which means its ability to adapt to everything in its surrounding. Hong Jing is placed in the southwest, which represents the sun and wind. It is also called the existence of the gap in which it connects the heaven and earth. It may cause waves in the water or even make fire even bigger. As the leader of the group, Jing fills the gap between the members, and challenges their ability. The wind also helps the bird to fly, just like how a leader supports its member to reach their dreams. Sang is positioned in southeast, which represent the valley and lake. Unlike other elements, the lake is a large body of water that is gathered and stand still. Lake crosses the natural boundary of our self in two ways, from the inside outwardly and from the outside inwardly. From the outside inwardly means that we open ourselves to the outside, to our environment, let us be inspired and ultimately accept and integrate what we encounter. Sang is best described as the humility, connectedness, inspiration, individuation and rhythm. Muisc is placed in northwest, which represents the mountain. It is our ability to disengage. Through letting go of what has become obsolete, we can focus on what is essential, concentrate our energies and make room for the new. Disengagement harmonizes and focuses our actions and results in reorientation and new beginnings. San is directed in the northeast, representing the element of thunder. Thunder is beginnings. Every change starts with thunder, every action or command. Everything big grows from a small seed. When the inherent electric and magnetic energies of Earth receive the power of heaven, this power finds a direction through thunder and charges and discharges, creates and destroys. Thunder is the flying dragon, the voice of heaven which resonates on Earth. Now that we have reconciled the two energies as yin-yang balance, we are now able to control our mind and body. Yin the power to manipulate the imagination, and yang manipulates the physical world. You may also see this progress of yin-yang energy in the color of their album. All to action is white and black. Action to answer is red and blue. You may connect that to their answer lyrics that say, "Let's burn," is where the yin-yang turns into red-bluish fire, which means the ultimate control of life. If I am going to explain the answer to you, it could be different with the way you see it, because just like Hong Jung says, everybody has their own treasure. But in order for you to know what you're looking for in life, you have to set yourself free from what you used to know and give a new space of a new beginning. Choice and an answer era is holding an empty glass. It means that you have to let go of what's holding you back and fill your mind with new ideas as much as it overflows, because this time you are free and in control. The treasure that you find is yourself. Living is not called living when you are still a slave of your own self and the society that surrounds you. Remember to be immature like Peter Pan means that remembering the feeling when you're still a child, when everything is possible. There is still a bigger storyline that is waiting to unfold, because the end of Treasure Era means the new beginning. They want you to remember the feeling of being unstoppable. Remember the feeling of believing in your dreams and yourself again. Ateez wants to remind you that not the people around you will decide, but you are in control. I hope in the end, if you open a treasure chest in your heart, you find your treasure. The kind of treasure that only you have in the world. The kind of treasure that only you can touch and see. I hope that you will begin to see more than what's beyond the horizon of chances. The last part of answer is very mysterious with the white masked man. Now let me make some predictions before the next comeback and theory episode drops. 1. The man at the end of video could be a persona of yin-yang combined called the Tao, where it could be Ateez in 1 or 8 people merged as one. 2. The man at the end could be a person from an alternate universe that is time traveling from future to the present, because everything is connected and whatever the present does affects the future. 3. If the man at the end is one of the Ateez members, it should be Yunho, because Yunho is placed in the north side, which represents the earth in the season of winter. 4. White masked man is from the new world or utopia, and his presence is a signal that we have arrived in a new dimension. Again, these are theories that could be right or wrong, but what makes it special is that we have at least learned something throughout the journey. Thank you for listening to my thoughts, and see you on the next theory video.
Come to your fame, levels of power. 잠깐 부르는 bass, 불어와 불이 나게. 예견된 환호의 너의 소리가 비추는 세레나데